we have this responsibility. We need to really carry this message and embody it, and really bring it to the people. And this is how people have become Muslims. This is how, how few of us, few of us are maybe of Arab origin. It's because someone gave dawah to our descendants, to our forefathers. That's why we're Muslims today. So this is not something which is, it's something we should do with a lot of enthusiasm, because we want good for ourselves and in the hereafter for people. And we are in effect completing one of the greatest sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ, which is to mimic him and imitate him in an aspect of his prophethood. Isn't it? To give the message, to call people, even suffer a little bit of maybe insult, a bit of injury, maybe not physical but maybe verbal, from people who don't understand. So it's a great chance to really do that. And to be of those people that the Prophet ﷺ said when he talked about, when he used to sit with the Sahaba, he used to refer to his brothers. And the Sahaba said, well, I mean, not your brothers. He said, you're my companions. But I'm talking about the brothers, my brothers who I've not met or seen yet, who remain firm upon the deen. Because brothers, this is part of enjoying the good and forbidding the evil, holding on to this deen. It's part of istiqamah as well. Because if we call to Islam, it has an automatic effect that we will take Islam more seriously, otherwise we'll feel like hypocrites. We'll feel, okay, we've got to act like better Muslims, and we've got to genuinely become better Muslims. So it has that effect as well. And we should not forget the story of the people of the Sabbath, of which they were a fishing town, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested them by telling them not to work, not to fish on the day of Saturday. And as a fitna, he would send fish on Saturday to a fishing town. A fishing town, that's what they do, they fish. That's how they make their money, that's how the whole society works. So when some people try to play about with the rules and say, well look, we're just going to leave the nets out, we're going to capture the fish, we'll leave them out on Friday, we pick them up on Sunday. They're not fishing on Saturday, right? Or so they thought. And there were a group of people, sincere people, who said, we should advise these people. And another group, third group said, who were not fishing on that day and were not doing this trick with the Sharia, with the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they said, leave them. They're misguided anyway, Allah will deal with them. But that first group that wanted to join the good, forbid the evil, advised, they said, مَعْذِرَةً إِلَىٰ رَبِّنَا, that we are doing this, that we can say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we told them. And if they listen, they listen. If they don't, then at least we told them. And Allah mentioned in the Quran that Allah saved the first group, the group that advised, implying that those people who didn't advise were punished with those evildoers. So brothers, we need to be aware that we are responsible. We are responsible because we have ilm, we have iman, we have that responsibility, and the honor of being part of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have to pass that message, and that is the message to mankind. And there's no way that we can get away from that. Inshallah, we'll end the talk there, and inshallah have some questions, bidhnillahi ta'ala, or comments. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Ustadh, I think we can all agree that was a very beneficial talk. Now that the Ustadh is willing, we can accept some questions from anyone. Brothers, you can just raise your hand and ask. Sisters, you can pass down your questions on a piece of paper, inshallah. Someone will be there to collect them. Any questions?
Can we take questions from the gym? Yeah.
In the beginning you spoke about morals being pointless without incorporating them with God. Could you just sort of expand on that a bit more?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, human beings need morals, right? People need a code by which they have to live their lives. Right. Now, given that human beings are subject to flaws, to corruption, and that's not even taking account of the fact that they are, they've only got experience of their experience, right? They've only got experience of themselves. They've got no idea that of a person who lives in a far-off place, right? All they can do is, there's a group of people that, according to their own experience of life, they'll be able to make laws. So it's not going to deal with adequately with people who do not come from their background. So let's say there's a group of lawmakers, right? You don't have to go very far. Usually these are of the privileged few. They've usually come from decent backgrounds, more often than not, good education, public school educated, the like. They are not going to fully appreciate somebody who comes from exactly the opposite side of the spectrum to them. Everyone agrees on this. Even the people who are the greatest protagonists of liberal secular democracy or the evolution of morality, they will say, but that's the best we can do. Okay, that's fine, but that doesn't really deal with the problems of humanity. So it makes sense that we as human beings, given that we already acknowledge that we have been made, there's no point in entertaining an argument otherwise. We have to understand the fact that we have been designed and made. Okay, we may differ about there may be different discussion. We can go into the issue about the process, etc. But we have been designed and made. We've been given a consciousness to recognize a creator, and it only makes sense to refer to that creator for rules and to be the moral arbiter, to be the one who is beyond human frailties, to refer to for this code of law. It's just natural. It makes sense. Because the other thing is absurd. The other possibility is absurd. It basically means that a human being is basically at the mercy of other human beings that don't necessarily understand or appreciate it. And you will get Nazi Germany. You will get other examples of horrible regimes, and you will have a warped sense of morality. You will have paedophilia being allowed 200 years down the line, or even less than that. And therefore you cannot say what is right and what is wrong now. You cannot make moral judgments what is right and what is wrong. You see, it's a very simple argument. And it is surprisingly effective. It's something I've spoken to a number of people who, atheists about, and they're flummoxed by this. They don't have any answer. Even philosophers have been discussed with a colleague of mine, Hamza Andreas Dotzis. You can see his debates online. They have no answer to this. Literally, you can see it. Cambridge professors have no answer to this. All they end up doing is resorting to the usual mudslinging at Islam, because they have no answer. Because they are not willing to be sincere to the fact that there is a God, that He has set that moral code of behavior that is completely logical, and that's all they have to do. And if they did that, then they would realize that this all makes sense. Otherwise, it's all just heading towards them. Because what if the evolution plan? That's what they're saying. They're saying genetics, have got this plan for human beings, and that's why I say to atheists, that sounds a bit like God, doesn't it? It sounds a bit like God guiding you to this. Why do you to this predetermined state? So if that's the case, why is it human beings, in order for us, let's say myself, or my group, or my family, or my tribe, or my background, it may make total sense, therefore, to butcher everybody else on earth, because in that way we can have everything on earth. So we got survival of the fittest now. Why is it that human beings don't feel that way? And they say, well, science will show us in a few years. So they've got faith in science. Which is absurd. Because what you're saying is, we can't discuss right now. Let's wait 200 years. Once we get the answer, then we'll talk. So you can't have a discourse. Is that clear? It's quite, it's very clear. Human beings cannot come up with an adequate moral code. And given that we already believe that we've been created and made, it makes sense to refer to that being as being the arbiter for law.